New footage of LeBron James and Draymond Green training together has NBA fans convinced something much bigger is happening behind the scenes. With LeBron's future still up in the air, many believe the two could be preparing to become teammates. But one detail from that workout has everyone talking. Let me break it down. The footage that broke the internet. This past Tuesday, the basketball world was just minding its own business. It was the dead middle of summer, the gyms were quiet, the trade rumors were slow. The whole league was half asleep on a beach chair somewhere. And then Shams Charania sat down on the Stephen A. Smith show and he dropped a bomb that nobody on the entire planet saw coming. He said it like a man holding a secret he could barely keep inside his own chest. He looked right into that camera and he told the whole world that LeBron James and Draymond Green were spending some time together this week at an undisclosed location. And when Stephen A. leaned all the way in and pushed him for the exact spot, Shams did the one thing that made this whole story catch fire. He flat out refused to say where they were. Undisclosed. Let that one word just sit there for a second. Not the practice gym, not a steakhouse anybody could name. Not a golf course you could drive to on a Sunday. A secret spot. A hideout so quiet that even Shams, the man who somehow knows every piece of news before the people it is about know it, would not give up the address. And that is the exact moment the whole thing went nuclear. Within minutes, clips of Shams saying those words were flying across every timeline on Earth. The big fan pages pounced like hawks. Dunk Central posted it, Hoops Nation posted it. Warrior pages lost their entire minds. Reddit stacked up thread after thread, and almost every single one of them was screaming the same wild theory at the top of their lungs. LeBron James is joining the Golden State Warriors. The brothers are cooking something up in the shadows, and the rest of the league is fast asleep. Now, here's the funny part. There were really two ways to read this news. One camp swore up and down this was a serious recruiting push. The Warriors using Draymond's friendship to reel LeBron in. The other camp said it was proof, cold hard proof, that LeBron is at least open to listening. Either way, the message was the same. Golden State was in the game, and they were playing dirty pool with a smile. But here's why every fan suddenly felt like a detective with a magnifying glass. This hangout did not fall out of the clear blue sky. It landed right on top of one of the boldest money moves of the entire summer. Because just a few days earlier, back in late June, Draymond Green did something that made the whole league sit straight up in their chairs.
But there's a reason why the Golden State Warriors have formulated a plan over the last week.
That plan Shams is talking about had one loud, obvious jaw-dropping first move. Draymond Green walked away from a mountain of guaranteed money on purpose.
That included Draymond Green surprisingly opting out of his $27.7 million contract.
Now stop and really look at that number. $27.7 million. That is not a maybe. That is not a bonus you have to earn. That is a guaranteed check already promised, already written, already his. Most players in this league would run through a wall of fire to hold on to a check like that. But on June 29th, Draymond Green turned it down and made himself a free agent, and he did not do it out of anger. He did not do it because he wanted to run away. He did it as a sacrifice. Draymond even hopped on his own show the very next morning and explained the whole thing. He called it a business decision, a move that leaves the team with optionality. That was his word, optionality. He framed it as a team first play, not some money grab, not some quiet exit plan. He was giving his organization room to dream bigger. And by stepping off that money, he handed the Warriors a brand new shopping tool worth right around $15 million for next season. In the world of a team already paying Steph Curry the big bucks, $15 million is a golden ticket. And that is exactly why the whole league started reading tea leaves. If Draymond was willing to torch almost $28 million, a whole lot of folks figured he had to know something the rest of us did not. Maybe he had the inside word that LeBron was really leaving the Lakers for good. Maybe he just believed it deep down in his bones. Either way, the smart people around the league fully expect Draymond to circle right back and re-sign with Golden State once the dust settles. This was never about him leaving town. This was about him clearing the whole runway so a much bigger plane could land. So the question basically wrote itself. $15 million for who exactly? And this is where the dream really started to take shape. The whole idea, the thing that had Warrior fans dizzy and drooling, was a plan to build something this league has never once seen. A super team of grown men with nothing left to prove. Shams laid the vision out plain as day. No code, no riddle.
Is there a way to get Draymond Green, Stephen Curry, LeBron James, and one more guy, and that guy being potentially Anthony Davis with the Wizards?
A big four: Curry, Draymond, LeBron, and Anthony Davis, all crammed into the same jersey. 4 faces, 4 different resumes, one final ride to the top of the mountain. On paper, it reads like a Hollywood movie. It reads like the roster you build in a video game at 2 in the morning when you know good and well you should be asleep. And do not forget the piece that made all of this even possible in the first place. LeBron James is actually truly available. This is not a rumor about a maybe. He turned 41 this past December. He will be 42 before next season is over. And for the first time since the year 2018, he is a free man with no strings. His agent, Rich Paul, already walked into the Lakers building and told them straight up that the king is moving on. After 8 long years in the purple and gold, LeBron decided he needed to go find his joy somewhere brand new.
I'm told this is a happiness-led decision for LeBron James. He feels like he needs to find his happiness elsewhere.
Happiness, that is the word. The insiders kept circling back to over and over. Not the fattest paycheck, not the crown, happiness. And behind the scenes, the Warriors were already deep in the laboratory, working the phones, running the math, chasing that exact dream with everything they had.
Golden State Warriors had formed a grand plan going into this offseason.
That grand plan had a very specific shape to it. 2 huge fish reeled into the very same boat.
To try to form a duo of LeBron James and Anthony Davis to join Stephen Curry and Draymond Green.
And dropped right next to 2 legends who were already living there. So now you can see with your own 2 eyes why the internet went completely feral. You have a secret meeting nobody can locate. You have a best friend who just gave up almost $28 million. You have a super team blueprint sitting right there on the kitchen table. And you have the greatest player alive, footloose and fancy-free for the first time in nearly a decade. Every single clue seemed to point in the exact same direction, like a treasure map with a giant red X painted right on it. But here's the thing about treasure maps. Sometimes that big red X is a trick. Sometimes the loudest story in the whole room is not the real story at all. Because to understand what this footage of LeBron and Draymond truly means, you cannot start with this week. You have to rewind the tape way back. Back to a time when these 2 so-called brothers wanted to physically destroy each other in front of the entire world. From enemies to brothers. Before they were hiding out together at secret spots, LeBron James and Draymond Green were the ugliest kind of enemies. Not friendly rivals, not cute little competitors who shake hands after the final buzzer. Real enemies, the kind that meet 4 years in a row on the biggest stage the sport has and try to bury each other every single time. From the year 2015 all the way through 2018, LeBron's teams and Draymond's Warriors met in the NBA Finals 4 straight times, 4 years, same 2 teams, same war running back over and over again. And in that war, Draymond had one main job, and that job was to make LeBron James absolutely miserable. He was the primary defender, the mouth, the muscle, the guy talking trash into LeBron's ear on every single possession up and down the floor. And it was not friendly little trash talk either. Draymond himself has admitted that in the heat of those wars, he did not just want to beat LeBron, he wanted to end him. He has said out loud that back then, he wanted to take LeBron's head off, and he was not being cute about it. Draymond has never once hidden the animal he used to be on that court.
Like, I used to be mad disrespectful on the basketball court.
That disrespect had a home address, and that address was during the LeBron years in Cleveland. Draymond says the fans of today only know the polished, older, calmer version of him. But back then, he was a hungry young man fighting for his whole life on that hardwood.
What they became accustomed to seeing was like how I acted when he was in Cleveland.
And nothing on this earth tells that story better than the most famous moment of the entire rivalry. The year is 2016, it is the finals. Game 4, late in the Warriors win, LeBron and Draymond got all tangled up on the floor. LeBron stepped right over Draymond, who was lying there on the ground. And Draymond, being Draymond, swung his arm back and caught LeBron down low, right in the groin area. The league looked hard at that tape and slapped Draymond with a flagrant foul. And that flagrant was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was 1 flagrant point too many for the whole postseason, and the rules are the rules. Draymond got suspended for Game 5, and that one missing game is a moment people still call a sliding door, a tiny crack in history that changed everything. Because Cleveland won that Game 5 without him. Then they won the next one, then they won the last one, and they pulled off the greatest comeback the finals has ever seen. LeBron got his revenge in full, and years later the king was still honest enough to admit that Draymond came right back and helped whip his team in Game 7 anyway, and the beef went way past the basketball too. There were dueling t-shirts and constant trolling. There was a story that Draymond even wore LeBron's signature sneakers early in his own career, before the competition got so nasty that he could not stand the man. This was not a one-game grudge. This was years of 2 alpha dogs snarling at each other on the sport's brightest stage. So how in the world do you go from swinging at a man's groin on national TV to hiding out with him at a secret location years later? The answer is one of the most beautiful turns in modern basketball history. And believe it or not, it started with a plane ride that almost did not happen at all. Around the year 2017, the ice finally started to melt. There was a trip to Anguilla, a gorgeous little island in the Caribbean, planned around All-Star Weekend. Draymond found out his friend Maverick Carter was heading there with LeBron. And he asked to tag along LeBron, if we are being honest, was not thrilled about it at first. In fact, the two men took completely separate planes to the very same tiny island. They left within minutes of each other, they stayed within seconds of each other, and they still could not bring themselves to share one single jet. But something happened on that island. They played cards, they talked, they actually listened, and slowly Draymond had a realization that flipped his whole world. He looked at LeBron and thought, hold on, this man is just like me. He uses the same slang I use. He comes from a place just like mine. And that little seed grew into a forest. The truth is, they were cut from the exact same cloth the whole entire time. Both raised by strong single mothers in tough Midwest cities. LeBron out of Akron, Ohio, Draymond out of Saginaw, Michigan. Same struggle, same fire, same story of beating every single odd the world stacked against them. Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, even said the bond was completely natural, and in the year 2019, Draymond officially signed with Rich Paul's Clutch Sports, tying their business lives together for good. From there, the brotherhood just kept snowballing. Private dinners in Los Angeles with the fancy wine. LeBron flying out to San Diego to be there for Draymond's wedding. The two of them investing together in pro pickleball. Their wives getting close. Their kids getting close. LeBron being one of the first calls when Draymond hit rough patches, and Draymond checking on the king and giving him recovery advice when injuries slowed him down. And the same man who once wanted to take LeBron's head off now calls him something completely different.
Like, that's my big brother. Love him to death. And ain't nothing changing that.
Big brother, and the respect flows both ways. Draymond has gone on record calling LeBron arguably the smartest guy to ever play this game. When LeBron broke the all-time scoring record, Draymond saluted him in public and basically crowned him the greatest of all time. That is love. That is real. Draymond even shrugs off the haters who cannot wrap their heads around two rivals being friends.
But like, best of friends work at Google and Apple.
That is his whole point. Best friends can work at rival companies and still love each other every single day. These two even turned into full-on travel buddies over the years. The same LeBron, who once booked a whole separate plane, now keeps extra seats open just for Draymond to hop on. They pop up together at concerts and on trips all over the world. That awkward wall from the Anguilla days came all the way down. But here's the part that keeps this thing so spicy. The part that makes their friendship different from every other buddy pairing in sports. The love is real, but so is the war. Draymond swears the second the ball goes up, that brotherhood goes straight into his back pocket.
From like, to this day, I still take Bron's head off, no problem, like when we on the court.
He takes his head off, no problem. And then the moment the final horn sounds, the love comes right back, like it never left the building.
There is a respect and a love that's there that no basketball is going to change.
So now you feel the full weight of this footage. This is not two random guys grabbing a quick lunch. This is a genuine brotherhood forged in fire, sealed in blood, sweat, and one very awkward plane ride to a Caribbean island. Draymond gave up almost $28 million. He is calling this man his brother on every podcast he can find. And now they are hiding out together the same exact week that free agency is heating up. It has to be a done deal, right? The Warriors have to be the big winners here, right? Well, hold on just a second, because the same man who broke this whole story, Shams Charania, knows something that all the hype is choosing to ignore. And when he finally says it out loud, the whole beautiful theory starts to crack right down the middle. The truth Shams refused to hide. Here is where the barbershop gets real quiet, because for all the noise, for all the treasure maps and the secret hideouts, Shams Charania has been telling anybody who would listen the same cold, boring truth this whole entire time, and it does not match the fairy tale one little bit. When Shams actually sat down and ranked the teams chasing LeBron James, the Warriors were not sitting at the front of that line, not even close. He named the real top three, and you need to pay very close attention to which team was quietly missing from the front.
It's the Golden State Warriors, Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Miami Heat as a prospective destination.
Now, yes, the Warriors get a mention in that group, but the deeper Shams got into it, the more the real truth leaked out. In his true hierarchy, the quiet favorite has been the Cleveland Cavaliers this whole time. Then the Miami Heat, a place where LeBron already won 2 championships and knows the whole system by heart. And then rising up fast, the Philadelphia 76ers, who jumped into the picture the second they went out and grabbed Jaylen Brown to sit next to Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. That new firepower turned Philly into a real live contender overnight. The Warriors were not the front runner. The Warriors were on the outside looking in, and each of those top teams brings its own kind of magic. Miami is the place where Pat Riley built LeBron into a champion twice over, with Bam Adebayo anchoring the defense and Eric Spoelstra running the whole show. Riley basically left the key under the doormat and told him to come on home. Philadelphia was not even in the picture a month ago, but adding Jaylen Brown right next to Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey slammed a brand new contention window wide open. These are not charity cases. These are real ready-made teams that can win right now. now. And it goes even deeper than one insider around the league. The smart money and the whispers keep pointing the same way. Even the reporters at the Summer League were saying it out loud.
Cleveland is considered the favorite. People are just connecting dots here.
So why Cleveland? Why does that homecoming keep tugging so hard on the Kings' heart? Part of it is the roster, since Donovan Mitchell just locked himself in on a long-term deal, giving LeBron a real young core he could lead. And part of it is a man who is not even a player. He is a front office guy named Brandon Weems, and he is one of LeBron's oldest friends on this whole earth.
Let me talk to you about Brandon Weems. Brandon Weems is basically LeBron's brother.
Basically his brother. And where has LeBron been spending his whole summer? Not in the Bay Area scheming with the Warriors. He has been home in Ohio, close to family, close to his roots, golfing and hanging with his old high school teammates.
LeBron's in his hometown of Akron, hanging out with his high school teammates, including one, Brandon Weems.
That is the gravity of Cleveland pulling on him. And Shams said it flat out about where the Kings' head actually is right now.
I'm told LeBron James is not in a rush. He's in Ohio right now with his family.
Not in a rush in Ohio with his family. That does not sound like a man about to sign a secret Warriors deal in a dark room. That sounds like a man taking his sweet, sweet time, soaking up his people, and letting every team in the league sweat. Reports say his decision could stretch all the way into August with no problem at all. He wants what he calls meaningful, competitive basketball, and he wants to be happy doing it.
Right now, he's spending time in the Ohio area, spending time with his family. He's going to make a decision on his own time.
On his own time. And here's the piece that truly guts the whole Warriors dream. Remember that beautiful Big Four fantasy? Curry, Draymond, LeBron, and Anthony Davis? That entire thing hangs on one giant ugly problem. The Warriors do not have Anthony Davis, and getting him is a straight-up nightmare, because Davis belongs to the Washington Wizards, and the Wizards are not exactly picking up the phone with a big warm smile.
There are dominoes that have to fall. There are other trade conversations that have to happen between the Warriors and the Wizards. Those talks have not gained traction as of yet. And
have not gained traction. That is the quiet part. Nobody in the hype machine wants to hear. And this right here is the whole ball game, because Shams made it painfully, brutally clear that without Anthony Davis, the Warriors are simply not high on LeBron's list. The friendship is gorgeous. The brotherhood is real. But a brotherhood does not win you a title in the loaded Western Conference. And even if they somehow pulled it off, look at the birthdays on that roster. LeBron heading toward 42. Curry in his late 30s, Draymond in his mid-30s. That is a team of legends fighting father time and the salary cap at the very same moment, and the money rules only make it harder. The modern salary cap has these brutal apron restrictions that punish a team for stacking too many big contracts on top of each other. So even the pretty dream of a Big Four runs straight into a wall of fine print and hard caps. Meanwhile, LeBron just sits back with all the leverage in the entire world. His camp has fielded interest from more than a dozen teams, and for the very first time in his long career, he is making this choice with zero pressure sitting on his shoulders. So then, what was that secret hangout really about? Was it a sneaky recruiting pitch that changes the entire league? Or was it just two brothers doing exactly what brothers do in the summer? Even when Rich Paul was laying out LeBron's real options, Golden State was tucked away in the corner of the board, not front and center where the winner usually sits. Steph and Dre up in the corner, not the middle, the corner. And when it came down to the real, honest conversation about the leaders, listen to which name came out of his mouth first.
It's Cleveland or Golden State. Golden State was the big one.
Cleveland or Golden State, notice the order. Cleveland came first, so here is the verdict, and it is not the shiny one the timelines were begging for. The footage of LeBron James and Draymond Green together is 100% real. The love between them is real. Draymond giving up his money was real. But according to the man who actually broke the story, this hangout is far more about two friends enjoying the summer than it is about a super team being born in a secret room. It keeps the Warriors alive in the conversation, sure, but it does not make them the favorite. Not without a miracle Anthony Davis trade that simply has not happened. And that right there is the cruel and beautiful truth about LeBron James at this stage of his life. Remember the very first thing that kicked all of this off? He said he was chasing happiness, not money. He is a grown man playing at a level that should be flat out impossible for his age. And for once in his entire career, he does not have to slow the whole league down. He can sit in Ohio, sip his coffee, watch every team scramble like ants, and pick whatever makes his heart the most full. Golden State has the brotherhood. Cleveland has the homecoming. Miami has the memories. Philadelphia has the shiny new firepower. And LeBron James, the king, has the one thing every one of them is desperate for, the final say. So do not let a secret hideout fool you. The loudest theory is not always the truth. The Warriors made their bold move, Draymond made his big sacrifice, and the brothers shared their quiet week together. But the king has not spoken yet, and until he opens his mouth, everybody, including Golden State, is just standing around waiting on the throne. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this. See you in the next one.